Hi there, it's Will from the Gym and I hope you're well. Welcome to this Lifestyle Tips for You. This is a fab little 5-10 minute chat to you, and each week I change the topic just to give you some really good top tips to get you motivated and get you training. So grab yourself a drink of water, take a sip, look around your lips, and five minutes for yourself. They're also great for sticking on the car with you as a little podcast for you to listen to on your journey, and hopefully I can inspire you to do some more fitness on the way through. So HIIT training, we're hearing an awful lot about it at the moment, whether it's in Dr. Michael Mosley's HIIT training sessions or in his Fast 800 diet books, etc. Lots of top personal trainers will highly recommend HIIT. But what is it? What does it actually stand for? What is HIIT? It's not actually boxing stuff, or there could be part of the exercises that go into it, but HIIT is high intensity interval training. So it's a form of training. You're going to do it in intervals, so there'll be sections of what you're doing. The intensity of it is, guess what? It's going to be HIIT, so it's going to be high. There's also LIT, which is low intensity interval training as well. So what are the benefits of it, and should you be doing it? That's the question I put to this. The big answer to that is yes, you should be doing it. It is a great way of training. If you do any form of events, whether it's sport related, if it's long distance, endurance distance, if it's short distance, if it's sprint work, etc., this is all brilliant stuff for you, and it's highly recommended no matter what the intensity is of what you're training for. So HIIT training, short duration, anything between 10 minutes and 30 minutes of a training session is ideal. I teach 7 online classes a week, of which 2 of them are HIIT. One of them is a HIIT cardio-based class, where obviously we're trying to work the heart and lungs. And the other one is a HIIT strength-based training session, which is the one I've done this evening. Tonight's class was all about arms and abs and posture. Really, really good. So if you're struggling with a kyphosis, etc., we can lift up the chest, get the arms feeling stronger, and get you feeling better about yourself. Last week I taught the lifestyle lecture whilst sat in a nice deck chair. It was quite nice and comfy. I thought I'd go for a Swiss ball this week and look a bit more fitnessy. Anyway, grab yourself a drink of water. Let's give you some top tips, and I'll give you a little bit of science behind it as well. Okay, so top tip number 1. In fact, let me read out all the tips and I'll give you a bit of information behind it. So why do it? What are the benefits of it? Okay, HIIT is, by its definition, a 10 to 30 minute training session. You are going to smash out a lot of calories in a very short period of time. I'll give you some more evidence about that in a minute. So a lot of calories burned in a short period of time. Number 2 is your metabolic rate, i.e. the speed at which you burn calories, is increased, okay? But not only is it increased during the training session, but it's increased for a couple of hours after training, depending on A, the length, and B, the intensity of the duration of your training set. Okay, so your metabolic rate increases significantly. 3 is that HIIT shows that you can definitely burn fat from it. So you can really start working on the mid-waist of your body and trying to burn up some fat stores around your body. If, of course, your mid-waist area was what you were training, there's a little bit of a caveat in there as well. You don't spot weight loss. Okay, so that's one of the things I hear recently is, if I do all this training, if I do lots of sit-ups, am I going to lose inches around my waist? Possibly, but you're going to lose calories all the way around your body. Okay, number 4 is it's a great way of increasing muscle gain, especially if you're new into exercise. I highly recommend HIIT. Number 5, and this is a lot of research in this a minute, is something called Epoc. And it's about your post-exercise oxygen consumption. So about how your body can process a large amount of oxygen afterwards. Now, as we know, we need oxygen to be able to create energy for our energy stores, especially when it comes to fat stores, etc. So yeah, Epoc is increased, your post-oxygen consumption is improved. It can well reduce your heart rate, and also it can increase and decrease the blood pressure as a result, because it's improving the beneficiary factors of your heart. And then finally, it can help reduce your blood sugar levels, okay? Because you're training or you're exercising more. Let's give you a bit more detail about all of those things. Grab some water. Cheers. So number 1, it can burn a lot of calories in a short period of time. So there's been some research done about this, and they were comparing HIIT training to weight training to running and biking, okay? And the researchers found that those people who did HIIT tended to burn around 25 to 30% more calories over that period of time than the other form of exercise. And the reason behind that is the exercise was under short bursts over a maximal amount of exertion over that period of time. So part of the reason I would suggest into that is because you're chopping and changing the exercise. So you're resting and using different muscle groups. So there's an aspect of that. but also it's about working at your maximum amount of effort. So how long can you sustain that for? Some people would suggest maybe 10 to 15 seconds. Some people say you could probably get about 35, maybe to 2 minutes of 35 seconds to 2 minutes of training out of that. But at the end of the day, HIIT was shown to basically burn the most calories over a short period of time, which is where you'll hear people like Dr. Michael Mosey. He's talking about indoor cycling, taking short bursts on a bike for 20 seconds, doing 3 bursts, and that being sufficient. So a great way of trying to increase it in calorie burn in a short period of time. If you take my training session from tonight, it was a HIIT strength training session where we were doing press-ups, tricep dips, and abs, and changing them up. So your muscles were getting periods of time where they could rest and duress after the duress, and therefore giving you time to recover. It was a brilliant training session. I really enjoyed it. Next, as we move down, your metabolic rate is increased after a period of time. So they were showing that your metabolism is spiked for a period of time afterwards. And that's primarily because your body is then shunting around trying to find fat stores to be able to burn up. Great way of increasing mitochondria buildup in your muscles as well, because it's a prime amount of intense interval training into there, creating little micro tears in the muscles. They then increase the amount of mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of those muscles, to help you burn up more calories. Really, really important. So after a short burst of exercise like that, maybe 10 to 30 minutes of training, your body is going to shift around trying to find more energy to help regrow and help rebuild itself. So, of course, by that definition, your metabolism has to increase because your body's trying to recover and repair. So that was number 2. Number 3, it can help you lose some fat as well. And that's because we have a little change from our glycogen system and our glycolysis over into trying to go into fat burning zones. And it's really, really important. So if you do a lot of endurance running, of course, you're going to burn up a lot of fat stores by doing that. But if you can go and mix in, say, maybe 2 sessions of HIIT training with it, you will find that you'll have some dynamic improvement in your performance. The same with sprinters as well. So sprinters tend to work over maybe 60-second sprints, 60-second sprints or 60-meter sprints, which could be like 6 to 10 seconds maximum of interval. So putting in a HIIT interval training is going to increase their endurance capacity, which is good. That's something else they want to increase. So either way, HIIT training over a period of time, say 20 to 30 minutes, is going to increase your fat burn during that time. So a great way of training. Next part is muscle gain. If you're working maximally, you're going to create micro tears in the muscles. Those muscles are going to repair. They create what's called hypertrophy, muscle growth. And as a result, you'll gain muscle strength and muscle dexterity. So yeah, really good point there. Number 5 is post-oxygen consumption of training. And it's about how do you fit that into your training. So how do you increase the amount of oxygen by doing it? Okay, yes, you improve your cardiovascular system, i.e. how your heart and your lungs work. But then if we start looking about HIIT training into it, we can increase by working maximally and submaximally, getting our heart rate really up, getting our lungs working really hard and creating that oxygen deficit. As a result, your Epoc will improve. As a result, you'll be able to utilize oxygen more into your training sessions over endurance training. Perfect. Great way of increasing it. And then number 6, what I was talking about was increasing the efficiency of our heart. So reducing heart rate and reducing blood pressure. Okay, so what we're doing is we're increasing, the heart is the most important muscle in our body, right? So the cardiovascular system, very much down to the myocardium, the muscle surrounding the heart, we want to make that stronger. So we can work a session submaximally or stronger, then we're going to get that heart pumping a little bit harder each time. So as a result, myocardium increases in strength, and as a result, every time your heart beats, the amount of blood that comes out each time and goes around the body can be improved. You'll also find that you'll want to get improvements into your diet. So the furring up of the arteries is going to reduce, the dilation, the increase of the size of the arteries and capillaries and veins in our body increases as well. So our body operates much more efficiently. So as a result, our heart rate doesn't have to pump as many times each minute. And as a result, our blood pressure doesn't have to be so extreme because it's having to fight through the clog and the mess that we've generated by trying to out-train a bad diet. And I'll talk about this all the time. Increase your water and increase your your root vegetables, increase your wholesome food, because that is critical. Okay, blood sugar levels. Yeah, if you, again, I keep coming back to Dr. Michael Moses, but there's loads of authors out there that will be talking about reducing blood sugars, whether it's 5-2, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's fasting days. Yeah, really, really beneficial for you. But what I've seen is they've done some research and they were looking at the risk of type 2 diabetes. And they're finding that people who have type 2 diabetes demonstrated they had effective use by reducing the blood sugar levels by doing HIIT training. So they tested blood samples before and after training, and as a result, they found that over a period of time, over 90 days, and this was over 50 different studies, that blood sugar levels decreased over those people. So if you do struggle with your insulin levels or you do struggle with blood sugars, that's a really good top tip. Final point is whether or not, and I talked about this earlier, but HIIT does improve your performance whether or not you're anaerobic or aerobic trainers. So if you're anaerobic, you're a sprinter, short distance worker. If you're aerobic, you're probably more endurance training, long distance athlete, footballer, rugby player, etc. Those type of things, triathletes. So again, we're increasing the efficiency of the heart, increasing the whole efficiency of our body as a result. So yeah, am I in favour of HIIT? You've guessed it. Yep, I definitely am. So there we go. That's my theories on it. I teach a HIIT class online every Wednesday and Thursday. HIIT cardio on a Wednesday at 6:05, and also on a Thursday, which I've just taught now, at 8:05. They're on the Gym Tim page on Facebook. They're free for you to do. Go and have a look at them, get part, get training. If I can ever help, get in contact with me. I'm here to help you. Let me give you a final recap of all those benefits. Grabbing your water. Number 1. HIIT can help you burn a lot of calories in a short period of time. Number 2, it will increase your metabolic rate, especially straight after a HIIT training session for a good couple of hours, depending on the intensity of your training session. Number 3, it will help you lose body fat. Number 4, it will help you grow and it will help you gain muscle strength and dexterity. Number 5, it's going to help you increase your Epoc, your post-oxygen consumption, which basically improves the efficiency of your body. Number 6, it will help you reduce your heart rate and also your blood pressure. Number 7, it will help reduce your blood sugar levels. And then finally, it's all about improving your ability aerobically and aerobically. I hope that's really helpful for you, really motivational, hopefully. Just over 12 minutes there, so a little bit longer than normal, but I hope you found that really useful. Grab yourself some water. Top tip as well, have a pint of water every day. First thing in the morning, and help your body recover. There we go. Whatever your HIIT training, make sure you hydrate well. Have a great evening. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time for the next one. Cheers.